The SS Myron was an old ship, built in 1888. By November of 1919, she was tired but still dependable. She set out from Musselburgh, Michigan, filled to the gills with lumber, towing a barge called the Miztec. The weather forecast was ominous. A nor'easter was brewing, and by the time the Maron reached the open water of the lake, the gale force winds were already screaming. Each waves began to hammer the wooden hull, and the weight of the lumber, heavy with freezing spray, started to pull the ship lower and lower into the freezing surf. By mid-afternoon, the situation was dire. The Maron was taking on water faster than the pumps could handle. Captain Walter made a heartbreaking decision to save the crew of the Maron. He cut the line to the Miztec, leaving the barge to fend for itself in the storm. The Maron leapt toward the shelter of Whitefish Point, but she was sinking by the head. Another ship in the Adric saw the Maron's distress and tried to stay close, but the seas were too violent for a rescue team. For a rescue. Then, suddenly, the Maron's engines failed. The cold water hit the Maron's boiling boilers, and a massive explosion rippled throughout the ship. Within minutes, the SS Myron disappeared beneath the waves, leaving her crew struggling in the 34-degree water. Most of the crew were lost immediately, but Captain Neal managed to climb onto a piece of the ship's pilot house that had broken free. For 22 hours, Neal drifted into the darkness. He was covered in ice, surrounded by the bodies of his crew, and losing hope. It wasn't until the next day that the steamer WC Franks spotted a dark speck on the horizon. Against all odds, they pulled the nearly frozen Captain Neal from the wreckage. He was the sole survivor of the Maztec. The barge the Maron had been towing actually survived that night, only to sink in another storm 2 years later in the exact same spot. Today, the SS Myron is in 50 feet of water. Divers still visit the site, where the remains of the lumber cargo are still scattered across the lake floor. A silent monument to a crew that fought to the very end. Thanks for watching. If you want to hear more stories about forgotten ship sinking, make sure to leave a like and subscribe, and keep another eye on the horizon. Until next time, this is the Roads Lesser Chicken, signing off.